I found out I was down in Mount Baker, and my skier buddy down there. After the last day of skiing, we went down to his place. He had a couple swing bikes, and him and his friends were into that sort of scene. I guess he kind of found out about it in Colorado. They have a huge kind of cruiser bike scene going on there, and I guess he was building swing bikes to kind of be a little bit different from the regular cruiser bikes that just kind of are all looks, and you can't really do much on them. So I rode him around, and I was pretty stoked on him. Didn't even really get a chance to even realize like the full extent of what a swing bike could do. I just kind of had a couple minutes on it and thought it was pretty fun and looked like something that might be fun to build myself. So Taylor and I built a couple up here in Whistler, and after that we started showing our friends and started to catch on pretty quick.
I first found out about swing biking about 3 years ago through my friend Sheldon Steckman.
I first got into swing biking about a year ago, from my good friends at the Trotsman International Club of Leisure. I moved into the Wooded Tree area where my friend Sheldon was living at the time, and that was more or less a swing bike factory.
All of a sudden, this guy flies by me. Kind of just second guess and look back at him, and he's got the handlebars of his bike behind the seat, and he's pedaling forwards. I look and have to just double back again before I finally went up and confronted the guy and asked him. I said, "Hey, what is this? What's going on here?" And sure enough, it was Chris who was swing biking today. The bikes instantly caught my attention. There was no turning back once I saw one. I had to have one.
To make a swing bike, you need two bikes. You got to cut the rear triangle off one, and then you mount a headset onto the rear triangle, and then you weld the rest of the bike back on together. So it's kind of like you're putting a puzzle back together. You cut the whole thing apart, and then you end up with a little more pieces than you started with.
To find swing bikes, it's not hard. Everybody these days wants the new bike, the aluminum frame. They want the shocks. They want the disc brakes. They want the 9-speed, or the 27-speed, whereas a swing bike is so raw. It's oh, you got that old bike you want to throw away? Oh, you're getting rid of that? It's I want that. Oh, what, that frame's made of steel? Give me that. That's easy to weld.
So yeah, I was watching something online the other day, and at the end there was this commercial, and it started off, and it was there's a poetic justice in taking something that no one else wants and turning it into something cool. And I was right away, that just made me think about swing biking. And
that's the most beautiful thing about it is taking two old crappy bikes that would have ended up just being scrap metal and basically phoenixing them, raising them from the ashes.
Basically, we're taking people's leftovers and turning it into the main course.
Every swing bike that is created by us will never feel like any other bike that is in existence. Pretty much every sort of angle, different length, different heights will have a different feel. Some turn tighter, some have a bit more of a relaxing sort of cruisy feel to it, and some are a little bit more aggressive, more high performance, can turn tighter, better for vortex battling, better for downhill gravel pitches.
I like swing biking because it's the most leisurely form of biking. It turns what could be a regular commute to work into an adventure. You can just swirl off a driveway here and there on your way. If you get some tunes going, you can really kind of rock out on the bike. It's almost like you're dancing as you're riding along. It's challenging. I've been swing biking for probably 3 years now, and I always think of new things to do. And it kind of really improves your core, muscle strength, your balance. And after swing biking, you get on a regular bike, it just doesn't even feel right anymore. So
it has that 3-dimensional feeling. It's very very natural.
Swing biking is you're taking a regular bike, and by adding that pivot in, you're adding an extra dimension to the bike. And swing biking isn't extra dimensional form of biking. You know, in those vortex battles when we're whizzing around like that, around each other, you know, in those circles, I'm surprised we haven't even opened up a black hole yet. Some of the moves in swing biking, you know, we've got like the cross pedal where you put your foot over the bar and pedal it like, you know, like this. There's the hand plant. There's the squawk turn. Got some manuals going. The vortex battle is like a fight for the center. You know, usually we'll throw a piece of garbage on the ground or a beer can or whatever, and you know, you both come riding in around it in the same direction, and you'll be like swirling like this, and then you know you kind of chasing the other guy's tail, he's chasing yours, and what you try to do is like basically turn around in front of him, like cut him off, or you know, usually by that point somebody will get really dizzy or, you know, put their foot down or slide off or, you know, kind of lose control of the circle. So it's kind of like it's like what a fighter jet battle would be, but on bikes.
Who would have thought that going around in circles would be so fun?
You know, all of a sudden Bailey was like the biggest vortex battler out there, and it was me and him all the time going head to head, and you know, it feels kind of like, you know, when you show someone how to do something and then all of a sudden they're better at it than you, you know, that hurts. It's like, you know, the student overtaking the sensei. And so right now, like for me to be in a vortex battle with Bailey, like I really want to win that battle, like just to make sure I keep him in his place, because he's getting pretty good. And
Sheldon's kind of in Whistler the forefather of swing biking, and when it comes down to it, I don't see Bailey as much anymore as an apprentice, as much, you know, the young grasshopper that's maybe stolen the rock out of his hand. I see these guys doing all these crazy vortex battles, and Bailey coming out on top, you know. So far in Whistler right now, there's two generations of swing biking. There's the guys that brought it in and started it. And then there's, I don't want to say young bucks, but yeah, the young bucks. And they're here. And I feel like that's myself and that's Bailey. And
so yeah, there's this kid. His name's Cam, and he thinks he's like the new like up and coming swing biker. He doesn't know anything. He's pretty much useless. He's just like, it's like, hey Cam, like where'd you even get your swing bike? You don't even know how to like weld a swing bike.
Is it a competition? No. But yeah, it is.
It's not about that. It's just about community. It's about just everybody being one.
Bike slalom today was crazy. That's my first time hitting up that zone. Taylor's bike got destroyed. He smashed it in half. That was pretty crazy. I think there's a potential there to do some time trials, like to get a little circuit coming out.
Slalom today was like next level. I knew it was always there, but it was kind of like, it's like, okay, hey, let's go session this, you know? And it ended up being a lot of fun.
Breaking bikes, pretty much any time you get like 5 or 6 bikes out and everybody gets stoked, there's usually a tire that gets folded over, or a frame that kind of snaps, or a fork that'll break, or derailleur that'll stop working, or a chain that'll snap. What else happened today? Yeah, we pretty much we broke like half of the bikes that we were riding today.
They break down. They snap. If you make custom forks, they will break. That's the way she goes. That's swing biking.
Yeah, when you're swing biking, you kind of got to watch out for falling off the back. You know, if you're new, you know, don't stand up because the bike can kink out on you. We had some bikes with some rough welds that definitely took off some skin on some people that tried them before. So also, I got a pretty big mark on my head here. This is from swing biking in the dark. I kind of rode into a ditch. I thought I was going up a driveway and just smashed my face. So that was a pretty big consequence. Other than that, just some scrapes, just some bruises, you know.
Pretty steep hill. It was a dark, cold night, and it's going pretty quick. The bus came around the corner and tried to stop, and pretty much just hit some gravel and ate it.
Yeah, I think just don't swing bike in the dark. That's what I learned.
Swing biking it's not your everyday sport, because not your everyday person can do it. It scares people, and should. You get on the bike and you think you're just gonna go and have a little whip around, and next thing you know, that bike's kicking and it's tweaking out, and you're on the ground and you don't even know what happened. You don't even know, and there you are now, on your way to the emergency, and it's 3 o'clock in the morning and you don't know what's happening. So safety is gonna just be one thing that, you know, it's overlooked way too much. Maybe that's why we love it.
Yeah, I think what's new in swing biking is the gravel around the corner. There's these gravel pits, and we just kind of ended up. We saw a couple bike tracks down that. And we're like, I wonder if a swing bike could go down there. So we tried it and ended up feeling just like skiing in powder, where there was like a drifting kind of sliding feeling, and you go back and forth, and you wouldn't have to use the brakes to slow down. You could just start like squawking out the back tire, and it would leave tracks just like ski tracks. You know, that's just a small hill, but I think if we found, you know, a chance to take that to a bigger venue, or a bigger, you know, a bigger hill, really, we could really take that up a notch. And if there's some more obstacles or some more terrain variations, we could really have some fun. I'd also like to see a dual suspension swing bike. I want to see an electric front hub on a swing bike, some electric powered swing bikes, and just basically like better parts and better, you know, better brakes, some shocks.
The further along it goes, the bigger it's going to get. It's going to be an epidemic. Swing bike epidemic. It's gonna hit so hard, no one's going to know what to expect.
One day, everyone that's riding a bike will one day be riding a swing bike, because it is just another element thrown into the mix of bicycle riding. Everyone that's going downhill on a mountain bike these days, I think, will one day be on a swing bike, because it is that much gnarlier.
People look at it and they go, well, why would you do that? And you think to yourself, well, obviously it's because you can drift out and you can lay down these turns and you can bank in, and it kind of blows my mind when somebody sees us riding around and then they ask why. Because it feels good.